Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. There's the website at the top if you're interested. Feel free to freeze frame if you want to. Supportive Oracle cards. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed. There's some websites in the back here. Feel free to freeze frame if you want to check those out, but there's a couple more in the back of the booklet here. There's a picture of Colette, too, if you're interested. Colette Baron Reed's website, ColetteBaronReed.com, I think it is. I can't really see it that well. Yeah, Colette Baron Reed. Or if there's a couple more websites down at the bottom here if you're interested. All right, enjoy if you want to. What do we have for Taurus? Are we getting things out of the way? What's going on with that? Ooh. Okay. What are we going towards? Like, what is happening? We're balancing something out. Balancing something out. You very much care about whatever it is you're dealing with. Like, you're very invested emotionally in whatever this is. The thing is, like, you're very... I've said this with Earth so many times. You guys have boundaries. You guys have rules. It's just, without boundaries or rules, Earth doesn't really do well. And it just seems like it's a natural thing you guys just do. You have boundaries. You have restriction. But they're purposeful. And that's where you feel comfortable and safe. This is like how I want it to be. Like, these aren't just rules just for the sake of rules. These are rules with a purpose. They have a big purpose. Like, I'm not saying, you know, don't run around the yard like a crazy person holding knives just because I feel like it. I'm saying that so nobody gets hurt, including the person carrying the knives. Like, to you, it's like, that's how these rules are to you. They're like very obvious. They have purpose. They have meaning. We do things the right way and people stay safe and things work out the way they should. So... your rules here also, like, they look out for other people. With the Chariot, it's like very actively looking out for others. Kind of like, these rules need to be in place and stay in place, not just for me, but for everybody. So everybody's safe. So everybody's taken care of. So everybody gets what they need. That's why we're doing it this way. That's why this happens this way. It's almost aggravated, kind of like, almost like if you're explaining this to somebody, you're like, obviously, isn't this obvious? Like, don't you see this? It's obvious. It's obvious. Don't you see that this is obvious? Like, it feels like if you're explaining it to someone else, that's how you're saying it. Like, this is obvious. Isn't this not obvious? It's what's with the there's a fire energy here. All right. Earth isn't one to play with fire, especially not Taurus. Now, when I say play with fire, it's kind of like using a grill. You know what you're doing. You're outside. If you're cooking on a grill and there's gas involved, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna know what you're doing. You're gonna do it the right way, and you're gonna do it in a certain way. There's gonna be rules around that. There's gonna be rules around that. So it's not like you're not opposed to fire, but fire has its place and it has its boundaries. We don't, you know, it's not like we're not going to take a gas grill and cook in the living room with it. That's not really something Taurus is going to do. It's kind of like, no, it needs to vent properly. It needs to be in a place where it's safe. If something goes a little wonky, it's not going to burn down the whole house. Taurus wouldn't usually do that. If Taurus was going to use a grill inside of a house, for example, the room is probably set up to handle it. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're doing it in the kitchen and there's an open fire grill, but it's set up it's set up purposely to do that. It's probably a designated space for it, not for nothing. If Taurus is using a grill inside the house, it's a designated space for it, is what I'm thinking. But you're not just going to haphazardly, like, why not? Like, it's raining outside or it's snowing outside and I want to grill something. Oh, I'll just do it inside today. Not Taurus, not usually. Not unless you feel like it's safe. I don't think so. I really don't think it's going to happen. But this energy, the fire energy coming here, it just does what it wants. You see it coming. Whatever's happening, you see it coming, and you're not super impressed with it. There's something coming here. Yeah, see, you see it coming. That makes a huge difference. Huge. Because I'm like, I see you, like, really working this out. But it's almost like, you know, all right, they're going to want to do something a little wonky. I'm not going to have them grilling things inside the house. It's not going to happen. But since I know they're going to want to, how can I plan this differently? I could hide the grill. I could hide the gas. But instead of doing that, I don't want to make people upset. What else could I do? Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. You're planning. You're planning. You're totally planning. You're planning and you're not happy about it at this time. Because you're like, I don't really want things to go that way, but I see where they're going. I see where they're taking it. And because it's like somebody else is moving forward in a certain direction. You're not a fan. You're like, I'm not a fan of this. The way that it's like fire going in a direction, like that's not where fire belongs. I don't want fire there. But I see it coming and it's going to happen. So if it's going to happen anyway, because whatever's coming forward with fire, there's some type of, like, it's like cooking in the house. It's kind of like, I don't want that grill in my house. How can I work around this? What else can I do? And you're planning for it. Kind of like, I have to find a way to get around this so that grill's not in my house, or I can like set something up to where I'm not upset about it being there, or less upset. You have some type, like, I almost feel like, okay, we were going to have this situation at the house. There's a good chance the weather's going to be bad. They're going to want to grill in the house. I do not want that. They've done it at other people's houses. I do not like it. And I definitely don't want it at my house. So you're like, okay, wait a minute. I'm going to replan this in a way that it's not my first choice, but it's almost like instead of having this at the house, maybe I just change the whole event. Same people, same type of good time, but maybe we go out to a restaurant instead. Or maybe I create a theme of, you know, maybe a Thanksgiving theme. Instead of that, maybe I could be like, hey, let's do a Thanksgiving theme instead of that. I'll make the turkey. Takes care of that grill thing. Wasn't your first choice probably, I have a feeling, if you go this way. But I feel like, you know, we can work with this. People seem to go along with it. And the outcome is exactly what you want. It's kind of like we still have great food, still have delicious food. Everybody's hanging out. We're all having a good time. And I didn't have to deal with that grill. Works. Everybody else seems happy with it too. Works. Two of Cups. Things persevere. They go in the right direction. Things work out great. There's a little bit more here. So what is going on? There's still something left. Because somebody went away that somebody else, you knew they were going to go this crazy way, and you kind of like, I feel like you outfoxed the Magician. Because you saw it coming. So you just outfoxed the Magician. They still had control. They still got to do what they wanted in the sense of like the food they wanted, but it was like in a different context. Kind of like when you did the Thanksgiving thing and you took over the barbecue, well, you took over the meat, then this person didn't center their energy on the barbecue anymore. They centered it on something else. So you kind of outfoxed the Magician on that one, which is interesting. That's usually a dominant card, but that's very interesting. You just changed their focus, and I think that's how that worked. You simply changed their focus, and they took that energy somewhere else. That's how you outfoxed the Magician. They still got what they wanted. They just went somewhere else. They focused somewhere else. I'm like, that's interesting. Because that's all it took for them to get what they want. They just had to get something they wanted. And I feel like the way you... If this analogy works, it's an analogy, you know that. Now, there's communication that's going to happen after this situation. Some of these cards aren't the best. Like, there's going to be communication here. Be careful of communication after the event, because the web weaver, that's a lot of communication in my opinion. That's like a lot of people talking that maybe don't have anything to do with the situation. And then there's the people backing off while other people are making up a narrative that maybe didn't even happen. The situation goes really well, but then there's this negative feeling after. What are you supposed to do with that? Why is that's like a hidden thing here? What is that about? Like, why is that showing up afterwards? It's like, okay, hold on. Four of Cups and the Chariot. This didn't go bad. This didn't go bad at all. And you made decisions and you planned things out, but it's being treated as if you made a random choice and took over the situation, which is not really true. You really didn't take this over, but I feel like like there's talk here that you took over a situation and made a random choice, which isn't true. This is after the effect. This seems to have some type of impact, because I feel like somebody is going to come forward and let you know this happened. What are you supposed to do with this? What are you supposed to do with this? This is after the effect. This was a really good moment. Like, why does it have to go there? Like, really, why does it have to go there? Fire. Page of Fire. And the 16. Which is the Tower. I feel like disengaging is smarter. But I don't think that's going to be an option. There's the Six of Pentacles coming in, the Page of Pentacles coming in, there's one card hidden. Somebody's like being a little fire starter. I'm like trying to find an answer to like what to do with it. I don't see an answer. I feel like if you just know what's going to happen, you take the energy out of it if you just disengage. You just explain to the right people. Maybe you want to tell them, you know, I saw that coming. I didn't want people barbecuing in the house, so I thought that would be a great option. People liked it. I didn't bully anybody into doing anything. I just thought that was a great option, and I would do the meat, and that would take care of it. I thought that was fine. We were all happy on that day. I don't see a problem. But then stepping out. We definitely don't want to be talking to people we don't know that well. I don't know why we're saying that. We want to be careful about who we're having this conversation in front of. I almost wonder if that's it. Be careful about after the effect. There's some type of negative annotation. Not annotation, what do you call it? Negative conversations going on here. Be careful about who's around you when you talk about this conversation. Even if you're on the phone, who might be around you, because there's something with this where the less we put into it, the more we get out of it. When you need to explain it to the key people and make sure it's private. For example, the magician. Whoever this magician is that you might have outfoxed, I would just go forward to them and say, I was not comfortable with that. That is literally why I gave that option. But you liked the option, so I didn't think that was a bad thing, and we all had a good time that day. So, I mean, you could have said no, but you didn't. You said it was okay, so we did it. That person especially, just go forward to that person saying, I didn't think it was a problem. We all liked it. You could have said no, but you didn't, so I figured you liked it. That's the only place I feel like we can bring down the impact. Otherwise, there might be a problem that could be unavoidable, and they're just giving you a heads up that even when things go right, maybe that's the lesson here. Even when things go right, certain people just can't help themselves but make a problem. And maybe it's identifying who those people are and acting accordingly afterwards when you realize it doesn't matter how things actually go. Certain people just have to create a problem because that's what they thrive on. It's a general read. Take it with a grain of salt. See what happens. Hopefully that helps. Okay, I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.